Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Orange Juice News and Notes from around the world of Insoles. I am your host, or at least one of them, Owen Kinoy, and this is my co-host, Marsha.
Hey, hey. Happy not sure what day this is, but it's in the middle of March Madness, so I am pretty fired up. My bracket's looking good. Owen, I think it's official. I'm still beating you in the points. I'm not sure. I'm just assuming. However, it's been a fun March Madness. We're pumped up, and I'm actually more excited about the topic that we're going to discuss over this. And I hopefully someone notified you, Owen. But this topic's actually about you for this episode, and one of the things, as you all know, with Orange Insoles, we own a running store, and that's where it all started. And Owen actually worked at our running store. So today we wanted to kind of bring him into the whole concept after he tells me he is beating me in his bracket and had maybe have him share with us like what working at a shoe store taught him. And remind me, Owen, when you started working at the store. This is a long time ago now, right?
Yeah, we were my brother and I, Tom. We were working at Playmakers back. I remember going in to clean out the fountain when I was in Meridian Mall. So that would have been
Oh my
over
gosh.
20 years ago. Uh, And I'm not that old for for those who don't have video up, but yeah, Playmakers is a running specialty store, I guess is technically like how you would describe it. But really, it's a great overall shoe store that has awesome choices for running, for walking, if you're working, hiking boots, that sort of thing. You name it, they're probably going to have some sort of solution for you. And one thing that's really cool about Playmakers is they pride themselves on the customer experience. So they want it to be the best place to shop for anyone. And just when they think about, hey, where's a good place to shop, they always have Playmakers top of mind is the goal.
The other
So
thing that I think a lot of people don't know, that it's based out of Michigan, but on a national level, it's won running specialty store of the year in its industry. It's been in the top 10 multiple times year after year. So it's not just a Michigan known kind of platform, it's nationally known. And they also have that one running platform. You probably know what it's called more than I do, Owen, that went nationally. That Olympian helped us set it up. What was that
yeah,
called?
the Good Form running program. So Playmakers, like you said, has been nationally recognized just for their customer service. And I know there's the running event, which is kind of where they go and end up with like a huge reward ceremony and that sort of thing. So that would be kind of that. But also just in terms of sheer volume, I remember when I was there, and this is some years ago, we won a contest for Brooks running shoes, and it was who would sell the most Brooks running shoes in their store during the, I think it was actually for March Madness, funny enough. And here we are in March. So we obviously would just bring out Brooks for everyone to try on. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. But the shoe kind of sold itself. So we didn't really even have to push it. It's just, having that much traffic in the store and that many people excited to shop with us was really the reason why.
I don't even think you guys even realized there was a contest going on until the end when they told you you won a national contest and everyone was like, What? We would have tried." We're like, "You didn't even have to because we didn't want to push one shoe over another." But so Owen, just backing up a hot second. So how old were you when you started actually getting paid at the store versus helping clean out the water fountain and I'm assuming we paid you when you were cleaning toilets and all that good stuff.
Yeah, well, I know you just want the clean cut answer, but I can't say for sure because I know I started working the sidewalk sales, kind of
Okay.
biannually. They would do twice a year, where I'd help stock shoes, and that was in middle school. And then all through high school, I worked in the back room there and actually started to learn the cash register. And then once I got to college, I went to Michigan State, which is just up the road from there. So I was able to keep working there because I was a local kid. And that's when I actually got to the sales floor. So when people came in and needed shoes, I would have to either go in the back and get them for them or help them pick out the right shoes, measure their feet, kind of do the whole 9 yards. And I did that all through college. So That ended up being luckily only 4 years, which I know Marsha is proud of me for. No victory lap or anything like that. But
Hey,
over
get them
that
off the
time,
payroll.
what's that?
Well, you'll learn this now, you have 2 little ones. We joke and say, "Get them off the payroll, get them out of college, let's go," so we're
Oh
not
yeah,
having to write those college checks anymore. Yeah,
I know,
get them going.
and I'm
Move.
lucky for that. But that's a whole nother story.
Alright, so
Um,
can you give us, like, just I'm throwing out the number, say 6 lessons or 5 lessons that maybe stuck with you with your experience? Because I know you're back into this business indirectly, and that's one of your big accounts.
yeah.
So, anything amazing that stuck with you?
Well, there were a lot of things, but kind of, I guess the goal of this conversation for me when you ask that is how everyone can make the most of going to a shoe store or just finding new shoes. And really, the best way to do it is not having this specific shoe in mind. So I know a lot of the times you may do some research online, or you have a favorite brand, or someone even told you about a shoe that is just awesome, and you think, "Oh, I gotta go in, I gotta get that shoe." Uh, that is probably the biggest mistake. And if you are a fashionista, but you're also looking for functional footwear, um, it could be tough sometimes. It just to be totally honest. So that's the biggest thing is just being open to what actually feels best on your foot and not just picking out a certain brand you want or a certain color or that sort of thing.
I was gonna say my big thing is I go by what color. And then, like, the other day, I get a new pair of running shoes probably every 6 months. So I went in and I always start fresh. I don't just assume I'm gonna get the same kind of brand or anything. So I tried 7 different on. I always go with the new staff member so that they're not biased either to a new, whatever brands they're thinking of. They bring out 7 different ones. And then and it's funny, I still mentally sway by color as I'm getting them on my feet. However, I think to your point, we get a lot of people ask us, like right now, On has a new running shoe out there. Lululemon has apparently a running shoe out there. I don't work in the store, so I don't know all these details, but I know Lululemon is a very hot brand. And so people because of that just wanna go get that shoe, and I remember when On was a big brand, everyone wants Nike is another one. Owen, you probably know more about this, so I feel like everyone wants that Nike brand, even though that Nike shoe design may not be good for your foot. But one thing that I kind of heard about too is just foot health, like understanding how, like you're saying, don't shop necessarily by looks or what you've image marketing that you get, but just understanding what foot health means overall for your full body.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the to keep it very basic with foot health, that's probably why you're in the store in the first place because your feet might hurt or your body might hurt and that sort of thing. And that's why they have someone there to help you because there's two main factors that they're looking at. One is the size of your feet and the shape of them. So, are you wearing shoes that have a compatible footbed with your foot? If your foot's really narrow and you're in a wide base shoe, you could be swimming and now your foot's that's usually what the term we use swimming in the shoe. Now your foot's sliding side to side and not properly supported. And that can cause all sorts of injuries, whether it's foot pain or even ankle pain, knee pain, hip pain, or lower back pain. So your body's a chain and it all starts with your feet and making sure that you have one, the right size, and two, just the right shape on your foot really goes a very long way. And I know that's not something that you might think about right away, where it's like, hey, a shoe's a shoe. I'm going to put it on and see how it feels. But that's really important. And then the other thing is just the general level of support that you're looking for. So now I'm going to ramble a little bit, but this is probably one of the most important things. Many folks will overpronate or roll in on their foot and that's going to cause kind of the same misalignment and injuries that I was just mentioning with your lower extremity. So, making sure that the shoes have the right support to keep you from rolling in on your feet is going to be crucial for, again, most people who do have that issue.
Makes sense for sure. But the other thing I was thinking about as you were saying that is that, when we were just talking about when you get new shoes, and you think, okay, I'm fixing this injury, that type of thing, or the new shoe I just bought, it's got to be my new shoes, even though I'm still having pain in my foot. And I think that was one of the things that happens when someone does go for a shoe off of looks versus the shoe that's foot health to them. Is that you'll walk out of there and you're trying your new shoes and you're like, oh, it's got to be because my shoe's too tight, it's too new, yada yada, when really that foot pain could be that you did not match up and you went with like looks instead of what's the right foot health, like you just talked about, what's the right framework that you need under your feet.
Yeah, and to be fair, kind of building on that, it's not all just about your shoes as well. So you could have a really great fitting shoe that has the proper support for you, and you still might be having, aches and pains. I guess I'll give an example. Like we would have people come in and say, "Hey, I'm on my feet for 12-hour shifts, and these are the shoes I wear, and I just got them here, a few weeks ago, and I thought I'd be good to go. Can you help?" And then you kind of sit them down and look at how the shoes fit, and the shoes look like they fit good. They look like they're supporting them fairly well. But the point is, there are other things that you can look at as well. That's not always going to be the kind of the fix. One thing, of course, we're an insole company, so insoles can help tremendously. A lot of shoes do have a layer of, or excuse me, a function of support, but not to the level that our full length insoles have, or really any of them, with the contoured arch and then also the metatarsal pad. That's going to help support your arches in ways that really most all shoes just don't have. And then building on that even more, it could be as simple as getting better socks. So we'd have people come in and say, "Oh, my feet, they kind of burn, they itch, that sort of thing, and just feel super uncomfortable. I get hot and sweaty when I'm working," which is totally understandable. And a lot of that can just be caused by wearing a cotton sock. So the cotton sock kind of acts like a towel and just absorbs that moisture, and then it just sits underneath your foot all day, creating kind of those aches, pains, and discomfort. So at the store, we would recommend moisture wicking socks. So some sort of like synthetic material, like a workout material, is kind of what you'd think, or even a merino wool. And what that would do is pull the moisture away from your foot into the exterior of the sock. So then you're not sitting in a pool of sweat. So long story short, there are just so many different factors that it could be. And I know you might want to just walk into a shoe store and get a new pair of shoes and move on and call it good, but you just got to consider everything going on.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that well, I can only speak to the store that Owen worked at, and back me on this one, Owen, or tell me I'm crazy. But one thing we were known for is taking a shoe out, trying it, and if it didn't work for you, take it back and we'll make it right. So we could see you there. I think a lesson you learned is like, okay, I thought we had it right. The person felt good, they left, but we always said to them, hey, you really got to get out in your everyday environment. Like get out of the store, go walk in them, even though we had treadmills to jump on, go spend some time with them. And that's one thing I always found is trial and error. And then finally, when I found the right, even like you were talking about a winter boot, a casual shoe, like I love Birkenstocks, like that bed is lovely with my feet. But over time, you kind of start through trial and error, find out what shoes work and don't work for you. Did you find that? Because I think they had a pretty decent policy on if shoes don't work for you.
Yeah, well, Playmakers had the best policy. Long story short, you can wear them for 30 days, however you want. And excuse me, we're talking so much, or I'm talking so much, that I just had to clear my throat. But you can wear them however you want, and I'm just so excited about this topic. You can wear it however you want, and then if they don't work, you can just bring them back, let them know, "Hey, I got these within the last 30 days. They're not working for me," and you can return them. But really, we're hoping that you're going to look for something different and get the right fit for you. So that was Playmaker's policy. That is very generous. I know not all shoe stores are like that, so it's definitely best to know the return policy. But what most all of them will at least do is allow an in-store credit, so you can just hopefully still end up with a different pair of shoes instead of just returning them outright. But the bottom line is they want to work with you, and the reason why they do that is because it's the truth. You can spend the time in the store and make sure they feel good at that point, but you're not gonna sit there and mock a whole work shift in the store or run a 10K in the store. Although although I've seen people put in some heavy miles on the shoes just right there to test them out.
On the
Um,
treadmill.
yes, on the
Yeah, I know
treadmill.
those there's a few people who are flexing in there, and you're like, "Okay." It's like,
All right,
if you go
chill.
to
Let's
Planet
yeah,
Fitness and you hit that bonk button because someone's just getting a little too and, over the top.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them in there, and you're like, "Yeah, I see you got good form, you're looking good. Yep, I'm sure you do the 6-minute miles. High five. Let's go." The other thing I was gonna say, though, is that policy, though, we kind of took our company, philosophy the same way, and we give a 60-day, we want you to be happy guarantee with Orange Insoles, just because we do believe, like, we want you to spend a few weeks in your everyday life, making sure they work for you. And, I would say 99% of the time, 98%, we rarely have returns, but we also make it really easy if you want to do a return. We do free shipping back again, but we do believe in that. We believe in our product. We know you'll be happy. We just got to get the right one. But sometimes people will call and go, you know what? It doesn't fit my shoe. I messed up. I didn't know the liner had to come out. And my liner doesn't come out. So I need the other 3/4 to put over the liner. Not a problem. Like, you just have to kind of help people along because it is hard to buy online, or it is hard to feel good in your shoe in a store before you can really get out and exactly what you said, Owen, in your working environment or your everyday world and try them out. But one thing is, I really want to hear some dirt. Like, I feel like you're being too, like, you're holding it in. I need a story. Like, what is there any other lessons like that don't have to do with shoes that you learned? Or is it, I mean, you worked with your dad. Is there any kind of dirt you want to give us, or your brother, your sister?
Honestly, not yet because you were making such a good point just about our return policy, and I just love what we do. So I need to kind of comment on that too. Sorry, everyone. But actually, not sorry because this is a great point. So with the insoles and the shoes, sometimes it takes time for your body to adjust. So I've had folks who put the insoles in or put the shoes on, and they'd say right away, "Ah, this is great. Everything feels better." But then I've also had some people that over the course of days and weeks, they break them in and they said, it really didn't feel great at first, but now I just can't even imagine not wearing them. My back pain went away, my hip pain went away, my knee pain went away. So it just takes time, and we want you to be able to spend that time comfortably to give them a fair shot. Odds are you're gonna break them in and love them, but if not, again, we don't want you to waste your money on something that you're not putting to good use. Is kind of the bottom line. But the dirt, the first thing that comes to mind when you say dirt in the store is just how smelly people's feet are. Oh my goodness. So if you're in a shoe store, one thing where I feel kind of bad about, actually, no, just make sure you don't wear your super, super old shoes. Maybe try to freshen them up or something. Definitely change your socks. Maybe wash your feet before you come in because um, yeah, it's really important to not smell like that. So that was kind of the first thing that I got used to very quickly, um, at the
I
shoe
know, but
store.
sometimes you don't mean to go into, you're driving by and you're like, you know what? I got to get in there and get those shoes. So I know people, but I will say this. I smell people next to me when I'm in there on sidewalk sales, and there's so much volume, and I was helping at the store. But none of the employees even make a face expression change. Like, do they train you for that? Like, if you get a smelly foot, I've never seen anyone go or like make a face
Well,
expression.
yeah, that's just part of playmakers hiring great people, but where I was going with that is if you can help it, do your best on that end, and it's really much
Fair.
appreciated. But at the same time, we work at a shoe store, especially one where we're gonna be touching your feet. We would actually put the shoes on your feet as well, lace up your shoes for you, do that sort of thing. I put people's socks on for them, you name it, I've done it. So it is definitely a safe space, but I mean, you
You
asked for
guys
the
dig
dirt,
in.
so
You dig in. And you have new socks there for people to use,
mhm.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is makes it. I see. But isn't it true you guys had to start by cleaning toilets?
Yeah, so, actually, it's funny because our producer, Mallory, also worked at Playmakers, just like my brother and me, the whole family, and she actually didn't have to clean the toilets, Mallory. She held out so long, and she won't chime in because she's just in the background, but I know she's dying to. She just waited out so long to the point where she didn't actually have to clean the toilets anymore. So, yeah, Tom and I did, but you know what they say with the younger generation, they're just really going soft. So that
I say it every day, Owen. I say it every day. That's fair.
Mallory's gonna beat me up either now or on a future episode that I'm not on, and that'll be totally deserved. So
No, she'll say no, she'll do the opposite. She'll be flexing, going, "Ha ha, I got away with it." But you guys can just pick on her and say it's the girl thing.
sure.
Little sister. She got third child syndrome. But so I was just trying to think, is there any other good stories? But that's always a good one. And I forgot about the shoe smell at your feet. That's interesting for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this 'cause it sounds cliche, but there really are so many great stories and memories and that sort of thing because you'll have people come back into the store and say, "Hey, you helped me with these shoes or with these insoles or whatever it is, and I feel so much better now." And they actually thank you. So it is very rewarding, and there's not one of those that stick out, but it's something that really you end up hearing all the time. And it is a reminder that, maybe if you have neglected your foot health or just haven't gone to like a shoe store or tried out maybe some insoles or socks or something like that, that maybe you don't know what you're missing out on.
Get in there. All right. Well, Owen, I enjoyed that learning the some of the things that you learned at the store, and thank you for letting us put you on the spot for this episode this week. And my final conclusion would be instead of orange being your favorite color this week, I'm thinking it's going to be green because I think your Spartan team is in the Sweet 16 as of last night. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, better than your Hoosiers. Sorry,
Well, yeah, here it
went
comes.
straight
Oh, here
there.
it comes.
But yeah, we're excited to see what the Sweet 16 brings. I'm I don't want to say anything more.
Yeah, let's not talk about it. That's not going to help anybody. So, all right, everyone, have a great week. Thank you.